This is a special report coming to you from the Skills and Technology Newsroom, high atop the towering metropolis of New York City. The following information has... Oh my God, I can't really do this for real. Anyway, here you go, Lou. Take it away.
Stress, stress, stress. Joe, I want to talk about stress today, and I want to talk about stress in a very, very particular way. And it's stress at the workplace. And the reason I thought of this for our conversation is because the first line of the article said, you can't afford to fight, flight, or freeze at the workplace. And that workplace being live media and entertainment, TV, concerts, events, where there really is no choice. You're not going to fight anybody. You're not going to run away. And if you freeze, a whole bunch of stuff will happen. So I wondered, in your years of experience, how do you manage that? What goes into mitigating it or correcting it? Give us your thoughts.
Wow, that's a big subject. There's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of places that could happen.
Okay.
It could happen. A situation could happen on the floor or on the stage of a live television show.
Right.
It could happen on the stage of a music act.
Okay.
It could happen, and it can happen in the control room of any one of those things. So really, it depends where. But at a professional level, you have to assume and hope that everyone involved on the front end of that, being the artist on the stage or the director in the control room, or actually anybody in the control room,
Right.
knows how to, oh shit, and keep going.
Right.
Because
So give me talk a little bit. Let's stay focused on just television. Then we'll walk over to a live music event. Give me a TV example. Like, what happens there?
All right, let's take a TV example, and let's take a live talk show
Okay.
or a sports show or anything that is studio based, where you've
Yep.
got talent, your correspondents or your host or guest or whatever, out in an environment, and it's going on live. Let's say for some reason your guest does something crazy.
Right.
So ludicrous, and your host doesn't really know how to handle it, and you can see the panic in their eyes, like, what should we do? Should we go to
Right.
commercial? How do I get out of this? Do I keep talking?
Right.
Fortunately, in television, for the most part, the control room, the producers have direct access to the talent. There's a little thing called an IFB that's in their ear. And in the control room, we can talk directly into their ear. Remember in the old days when you'd watch a newscast and the guy would, even when, I mean, I'm sure none of us remember that live, but when he would put his hands to his ear and go,
Yeah, of course.
breaking news, this coming in. That's
Yeah,
what
of
was
course.
going on. That IFB, that's the communication to that individual. So what we
Right.
do is we try to mitigate the situation. All right, we're going to go to commercial. I need 30 seconds to set up the commercial. Keep talking, laugh it off, make it funny. Don't even acknowledge that there's something weird going on. Tell a joke, pacify the
Yeah.
situation. If the person gets up and starts really acting erratic or something like that, we'll move the cameras. We'll cut off that person and just get a hard focus on the host. But we'll tell them what's going on because they have no
Right.
idea. Okay,
Right.
we got a single on you. Just throw the commercial, ignore everything around you, and we'll take care of it. And then bam, we're out, and then we fix whatever went awry.
Crazy.
In music, kind of the
Yeah,
same thing can happen on a stage.
Yep.
There's so many moving parts to a live performance, especially in today's world.
Yeah, sure.
And the artists have to be savvy enough to keep playing. Whether all of a sudden I don't know, they lost their drums, or half their instruments on stage died, or if you're a
Right.
DJ, the lights all went out on you.
Right.
You have
Right.
to just keep performing, and you can do one of two things. You can play with it, acknowledge that it's happening, or you could ignore it and just keep everybody engaged.
Right.
If you're outdoor arena and storm breaks out, it's just things like that. Like I said, if you're
Yeah.
playing, I've been on stages where the whole thing went black, but the PA mics were still hot. The sound reinforcement mics were still hot, so they
Right.
could still communicate with the audience. One of the great stories is told by one of the stage managers at Radio City during the Christmas Spectacular.
Okay.
And it's a big event. If any of you have been to New York and you've had the chance to see it, it's an amazing show, but there's a lot of things going on. And Radio City is a very, very old theater. So a lot of the stage movement, the hydraulics, the ins and the outs, the elevators are old. So he tells the story during the show, they had a problem and they couldn't get the elevator up and it just stopped. It literally, the show had to stop. And Joe he just walked out to the middle of the stage during it and just told the audience. And as he tells the story, he'll tell you that this has happened a few times. And he goes, and the audience is cool with it. They're good. You tell them, hey, we had a technical problem. Hang in. We'll be back up in a few minutes, and everything will be good. And that's kind of the way it was. Think about even back in television's early days, you would go off the air for no reason.
Right.
And you'd get a little test pattern. If you go look them up, Google them, look up old test patterns, and you'll actually see it stand by having technical difficulties. And that was commonplace. People watching television were okay with that. The early streaming, you'd be watching it and it would just pixelate off the air and would disappear and would come back. So audiences are pretty accustomed to and forgiving about, okay, well, it's a technical problem and they'll figure it out and they'll come back. It's just a matter of those of us on the other side. Right. You can't freak. You have to just stay the course, stay calm, figure it out. And that is personality traits gravitate to those positions.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. And you know what? If you want to read a little bit more about that whole Radio City story, it's really, really interesting. Check it out on ferrocity.com. It's under our blogs, and we're going to put a link in the show notes. Joe, thanks a lot, buddy. Really appreciate your insight. That was a great topic. I enjoyed hearing it.
You got it, Cuz. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to today's show. We've got some really exciting online courses coming up on ferrocity.com. See for yourself the exclusive details at ferrocity.com and make sure you get on board for early notification of class openings, enrollment opportunities, and founding member benefits. Details at ferrocity.com.